Okay, we are now live with EdCamp Global 2016. This session is Augmented Interactive Student Notebooks. I did tweet out a link to our event page, but I didn't want to tweet out the link to the actual Get Inside the GHO. But on the event page, if you are watching this and you would like to come sit in with us, there's a link that if you click on it, it should bring you right on in and you can have a seat. I can have up to 10 people, or 9 people plus me, in the GHO. And I am Katie Ann Wilson. I will be facilitating this session. This is supposed to be a open table. Come join. We'll talk about augmenting student notebooks. If I don't get people talking with me, then I'm just going to start sharing because I'm used to talking to myself. If you have questions, there are Q&A, and you're watching, there's Q&A button at the top of the video screen, or top of the video. If you click on that and type in your question, I will see it in the panel. If you are tweeting out what we're doing in our Hangout, please make sure that you do the hashtag ECG 2016, and then tag me at KatieAnn_76, and we got a couple people popping in. Hello. Hopefully they will talk, so I'm not talking to myself. I'm really used to doing Google Hangouts and talking to myself and sharing, so if we don't get people come in to talk with me, or if you're in and you're not talking, you're just listening, that's great. I will keep going on until we get questions. If you are tweeting out and you do not tag me at KatieAnn_76, I may not see your question in Twitter because there's a lot going on right now in Twitter thanks to the EdCamp Global. So make sure that you tag me so I can see it, or you use the Q&A for the video. We have a couple people. We have Bill, Rosina, and Monica. If you want to unmute your mics and join in the conversation, that would be great. If not, you can just sit back and listen. Like I said, I do tend to talk and share quite a bit. Anything and everything augmented reality for education, and I will schedule some tweets with some examples, so they will be in the Twitter feed, and I will share them on my screen too. Some examples of how I've used augmented reality to bring interactive student notebooks to life for my students and for other teachers as well. Okay, so we're not getting any questions. We have some comments. Bill says, I need to stay mute, but he can chat. Okay, awesome, Bill. Nice to meet you. I had to kick my kids out of the house. They're at their grandparents' grandpa's house because, you know, they're loud and noisy, and I can't do a GHO with them around. They like to show off for the camera and be loud, and wonderful kids. Okay, so let me share out. Let me get to the right screen. I did a not at ISTE session where I did a Google Hangout. Like I said, I do a lot of talking and a lot of sharing, so I like to be the go-to person for anything and everything augmented reality in education. So if you have any questions on how to use any of the augmented reality, any questions about the different companies, and I can talk about the different companies, shout them out, because, you know, I'm here, I'm connected to social media, and I am trying to be, and I think I'm getting there, the go-to person with anything and everything augmented reality in education. So I'm going to do the spiral of death here. Okay, I am a blogger. I am the Diary of a Techie Chick, and I tweet out and share out a lot via my blog. And I also host a weekly Twitter chat called AR for Learning, and it's AR number 4 Learning. And we meet on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central Time. I try to have different topics each week. Like this past week was augmented reality, or it wasn't augmented reality. It was games in education. Next week, August 4th, will be back to school. And then I'm going to take 2 weeks off of the Twitter chat in August because I have a son going off to college and school starting, so I've got to stay focused. For them to be mom first. Family always comes first. And then on the last Thursday of the month in August, we will do a Twitter chat, interactive notebooks. So feel free to join us on the Twitter chats. The non-at ISTE, and I posted the recording that I did, so you can go watch, see what I shared. And then it was in a night session. So the slides for that presentation are there, and they were created with Buncee. Great platform for creating. And then I also have some resources that I gathered from ISTE for you to try out. So try that out. Let me stop my sharing, see if there's any questions. No questions yet. Let me check Twitter. Nope, nothing there yet. Wait, questions popped up. Woohoo! Google must be a little slow. Natalie, I don't think you're automatically muted. That would be crazy. I don't think I've had that setting. Let me double check. You never know with Google. No, I don't have you automatically muted. That's just weird. So, Bill's gonna stay muted. Wonder if I can. Rosina, are you there? Sunshine, hello, Sunshine. Google's being weird. Are you there? Oh, she's typing in chat. Hi, Sunshine. Are you going to stay muted or do you want to talk? I unmuted you. Okay, muted is it. Oh, okay. Like I said, I am not worried about talking to myself. I do it all the time. You know, when you're a mother of 3, you talk to yourself all the time. And then when you're a teacher, you know, you still talk to yourself all the time. So I'm quite used to it. Sunshine has joined us for AR for Learning. So hopefully, we got somebody else coming in. Another Katie. Oh, God, I love a Katie. Great name. Hi, Katie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Early morning here.
Where are you at?
Oh, I'm in California. I guess it's not so early anymore, but when I started at 5, it was early.
Yeah, that's a little early. I kind of slept in, so I missed a couple of things. I wanted to participate this morning, but it's okay. We're on vacation, right?
Right.
Okay, well, I was sharing out some my session that I did for Nana at ISTE on augmented interactive student notebooks. Have you tried the interactive student notebooks with your students?
I have not done that yet. I've just done interactive notebooks, but not with AR.
Awesome. What grade level do you teach in subject?
High school, I'm a teacher librarian, so I get to teach everything, which is pretty cool.
That is cool. I used the interactive notebooks for my STEM class last year, and it was very, very useful, and it helped my students out a lot. Okay, so with your interactive notebooks, what did you put in them, or had your students put in them?
It's just always the one side is basic information I want them to have, and the other side I made them interact and create something. It could be totally visual if that's what they wanted, but something that they decided would show their learning and understanding.
Awesome. I think sketch notes would be a great tool to put into the interactive notebooks, along with the foldables, and then, you know, whatever it is that student, because it's a visual thing, and it shows us, or tells us as teachers, what students are learning or understanding, so that in case we need to go back and do a reteach or do a flipped instruction or whatever it is that we need to do, we have a better assessment of the students' needs through these notebooks. Okay, so is it okay if I share some more things? Oh, got somebody else joining us. Cami, hello. You're muted. Do you want me to unmute you? We'll see. And Google's being really silly with questions. It's like blank, and then all of a sudden it popped up. Peggy is watching. Hi, Peggy. If you're watching, listening in the room, we are not in the Hangout and cannot speak. You just have to type, if you want me to address something, if you're watching or listening, you have to type in the Q&A, and then, thank you, Peggy, for doing that. Then I can answer your question. Sketch notes, Jody says, would be great for AR because they are unique. And with AR, when you're creating AR, and a lot of people don't know this, is the readers do not read the colors, really. They read the contrast and the lines. So the more unique your trigger is, and the trigger is the thing that, oh, God, I love my computer. The trigger is the thing that you scan, and it could be a physical object, it could be an image, it could be a location. It's something that is being scanned, and then it triggers the augmented part. So the more that you do with your design, the better the trigger is going to scan. Oh, it might help if I explain what augmented reality. Thank you, Ashley. I get in these, and because I've been doing it for so long that I know what it is, and I, forget to tell people what it is. Augmented reality is when you overlay a digital component on something that is a physical component. The best example that I can give you right now, because it's so popular, is the Pokemon Go. Uses augmented reality, and it's overlaying. One of the overlays is a Google map that you go and follow, and because it's so popular, is the Pokemon Go. Stacy uses augmented reality, and it's overlaying. I'm gonna have to mute you because I hear myself. Map that you go and follow, because it's so. It's okay. It's okay. It's best to wear earbuds so that I don't hear myself. Okay, so I was explaining augmented reality, and Pokemon Go is a great example because it's using, you're walking around, that's your physical, and it's doing location. It's scanning the location that you're at, the GPS.
Oh my gosh.
Hello? Woohoo! Technology. Okay, I just talked all of that and nobody heard it. Oh, it's too early in the morning. I should do these in the afternoon. Okay, so augmented reality is when you overlay something digital on a physical plane. You can overlay Google Maps, you can overlay other images. My Lord. My computer is popping up all sorts of things. So you interact physically in a virtual and plus virtual. I mean, it's digital, it's out there. Does that help explain what it is, I hope? Okay, so in SketchNote's great example, you can augment a SketchNote. You can have kids do their SketchNote and then augment their digital creation. So if you had them make a s'mores to explain it, or a Bunsy, or multiple things, don't just take it to a website, because if you were just taking it to a website, use a QR code. If you are doing something that's interactive and doing multiple things, like the students created a Bunsy and then they had a video of them explaining it, then you can link both of those in BlipArt or Erasmus, and this becomes interactive. Okay, so if you are just taking it to a website, that's redirecting it, and use a QR code for that. Don't waste creating an augmented trigger, because a QR code, one, will be quicker, and it just redirects it. Hopefully that makes sense.
Oh, I'm down to 5 people. Thank you all for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your holiday. Have a good one. Peace.
Okay, so I explained that.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
With
And where are you at?
officials and drums and I like kids, but all that other stuff, no, don't need that. I just need to be able to hear crickets. That's about where I'm at. So, what's going on with you guys? What are you doing? Tell me what.
We are talking about augmented reality in student notebooks for the global EdCamp Global. And we lost her. I think she was in the wrong spot. Examples, yes, I have lots of examples I can show you, Christine. If you give me one moment. Laura has shared an article on SketchNotes. Make sure you also tweet that out using the EdCamp Global hashtag. Let's see, Wendy has started using Google Slides. Awesome. Google Slides would be great. And I do have an example using a Bunsy slide and augmented the Bunsy slide, so I'll show that. She also uses, Wendy uses interactive notebooks in science and reading. And she wants, how do you augment the part come in? How does the augmented part come in? And I can show you some examples, Wendy. There was not a link to the resources. The only resource I shared out was my blog, which is Diary of a Techie Chick, Jody, and we can tweet that out and we can put it in the event page as well. And you would like to know some benefits. The benefits of augmenting parts of it, don't augment the entire thing, but parts of the interactive student notebooks is, one, it's engaging. 2, especially if you use like apps like Quiver, they have a volcano one. It has a quiz built into the augmented part, so kids can use it as a review. It also shows if the students are creating the augmented part, like augmenting their sketch notes and adding their digital content, their 3D models, or whatever it is that they're putting as the digital components, it shows their understanding. So there's a lot of benefits. Using the augmented part, using the notebook in general, it has lots of benefits because we get to see their understanding. The kids get to process their thinking and organizing their thoughts, and organizing their resources, because, you know, that's a skill they have to learn. And I teach middle school, and they are so not organized. So using the notebooks helps them organize their thoughts, helps them explain what's going up in their head, and then we get to see understanding, their understanding using the notebooks. Yes, and Google is being very wonky. Okay, so examples. I'm going to take you back to my Diary of a Techie Chick, because that's where I post all of my examples. So let me go, and it's going to look like you're going in a tunnel. It's okay. I'll take you right out of it. If you go to diaryofatechiechick.com, make sure you do the .com, I do have a tab that says Augmented Reality. And I do a lot of sharing on augmented reality. So if you click on that, you're going to get everything I've tagged augmented reality. Okay? That's what I'm doing. So I have some examples. Oh, come on, Google. Of using augmented reality. You can use, Quiver has a map that's interactive, and you can print these, they're coloring pages, so you can print them full 8x10 size, or you can shrink them down into a 4x6, or I wouldn't go smaller than a 4x6 because you still want kids to be able to write on it and color on them. And then you can use them for different ways. And this map one has different interactivity with it. My favorite is one, whatever the kids write and draw or put on the map is going to show up. It pulls it into the augmented world. Another part that is really fun is they can go into some of the preset things, and when you get closer, you take your device and you go closer into the map, then you get to see it change from daylight to nighttime, and the stars come out. It's really cool. And you can see the world spinning around. And when it's at the nighttime view, you can see the electricity that's being used on the continents. They kind of light up, and you can see which continents are really bright, are using a lot of electricity, have a lot of lights on. So it's great interactive tool, and you can use that for science. You can use it. I use it in a writing activity, like where in space is my place, where kids can mark where they are. If you have what are called mystery Skypes, you can have kids mark where their mystery person is on there and keep track of that, and keep them in a notebook. So there's lots of uses, especially for that map, and on virtual field trips too, which would be great. So, and I do a lot of things with augmented reality, especially with the coloring pages, because they're interactive, one, because kids are coloring, you can write on it, and then when they scan it, whatever they put on it interacts in the digital world. So, and I use it in STEM quite a bit. So in writing, definitely writing. Kids can create their own flag, so you can have that in their little notebook, and they can have a writing about their country and why their flag is designed the way it is. It's really fun. And it also has some preset flags, like the United States flag, the New Zealand flag, and stuff, and kids can, and their song goes with it too, so you can hear their anthem along with the different countries' flags. And there's a handful of countries that they've preset in there. Okay, and then you can also pull in the coloring pages into digital tools like Google Draw, and have kids digitally put their design on there, which is great because it doesn't have to be color pencil. It's whatever you put on there. When you scan it, it's going to pop up. Okay, that's with young learners. There's not it. It's man, if I'm going too fast, I'm sorry. This is the one I was talking about that I had made the slide for Bunsey. The entire slide is the trigger, and it's a math So with LitBar, you have to have a code, and the codes are really easy to do. There's 3 little lines once you launch the app. You click on the little line, you click on the setting, and it says enter code, and then you type in the code. And whatever you scan that's marked with this code, it's going to come alive. And I have a code for math, I have a code for language arts, I have a code for social studies. So I broke them up into groups. So my math code, anything that's math, will have the same code. So if you're doing an interactive math notebook, and you set it, and if you need help setting it up, I can help you. You just have to enter one code, and everything that you made with LitBar will scan and work. So this is a slide. The entire thing's augmented, and it's interactive. And I posed a question, and I put the question there, and then when they scan it, I give them help and tips in solving the question, ways that they can show how to solve the question. So there's different resources when they scan it that they'll access and helps them solve this math question. You can also do it for self-check. Okay, so let me go show you another math one. It's called butterfly fraction. And I write a lot, so you have to wait. Give me 1 second. There it is. And this is self-check. So again, with what LitBar's math is the same trigger or code for the trigger. When kids scan it, they're going to get a picture showing them how to solve the fraction using the fraction butterfly. So you can use this. So if you had math problems you wanted kids to work on, and you have augmented the step-by-step, or have kids create in like edu-creations or whatnot, ways to solve this, then the kids can scan it, do a self-check, and see if they're, got it right. Okay, so I've given you some examples. Let me go back to the questions. I'm sure we have questions now. When I'm sharing, I can't see the questions. Okay, so back to the top. Come on, Google. Okay, are there any questions about what I've shown you, or you got ideas that you can add to it? These are just things that I've done with students. AR circuits is one of the ones I used quite a bit in my STEM class teaching electricity, and teaching about circuits, and it's augmented, and each of the triggers is a symbol, and you scan it. And once you put the symbols together correctly, then you get to see a complete circuit, and you can light up a light bulb. They've just added some new components, and I can't wait to try it with some kids. It's awesome. I mean, I love AR circuits. So AR circuits would be another one if you're teaching about electricity and circuits and batteries, complete circuits, simple circuits, parallel circuits. Those would be, that would be the tool that what I did is I printed off the symbol cards, and I made a pattern, and I left empty spaces for kids to fill in, and then they had the cards, and in their notebooks they had to put the correct missing component in to complete the circuit. And then if they got it right and they scanned it, the circuit was complete, and they lit up the light bulb. Okay. Peggy, you are awesome at sharing. She put in my AR for my blog, so make sure that you look at that. Everybody has different needs. Everybody comes as teaching different grade levels, different subjects. Students all have different needs. Like I said, I am a person that you can come to, and I will answer you. If you send me a message in Twitter or an email, I'll answer you as quickly as I can. Just keep in mind that you're not the only one asking me a question or needing help, and I also, raise a family and work and all that. wonderful stuff. So it may be a little bit, it may not be instant. When I do it instant, it really shocks people. Because my phone does travel, and sometimes, if I get that message right away, if I'm able, I will answer it right away. Okay, Hannah wanted to know what is the program that I use to create my augmented stuff. It is called BlipR. The app is BlipR, and then they have a Blip Builder, which you have to do on a computer. The app will go on your device, being a smartphone, a tablet, whatever device. It's Android and Apple-based. That's the thing that scans it, like a QR code. You have to have your device to scan it. So BlipR will be the app to scan, Blip Builder, and they do have free teacher accounts. You do have to contact them to set up your teacher account. It is, I want to say BlipR education at blipr.com. And they are doing a change of hats, so they're looking for a new education community manager. So it may take them a little bit to get your account created. If you don't hear something within a week that you don't have an account, contact them again. If you still don't hear anything, contact me, and I might be able to help you out. But BlipR, I use that one for creating Quiver, and I can show you the websites for Quiver, Cromville, AR circuits, AR flashcards. There's tons out there now. When I started with augmented reality, there was one company, and that was like in 2009. Now there's several. Octagon Studios has some really cool flashcards. They have one for careers and A for the alphabet. Like they have A's for astronaut, Z's for zookeeper, and that are interactive and really cool. They have animals, they have space, and they also have food and dinosaurs. So they have a series of flashcards that you can get. So that's Octagon Studios, and they also have a new coloring book that came out on the career of the people. Let's see, Pop AR Toys has books that are augmented. They have puzzles that are augmented. They have posters that are augmented. The posters are really cool. They have a periodic table that's augmented. They have the 7 Wonders of the Ancient Worlds augmented. They have presidents and states and capitals. So those are, and I have the posters. I should have brought them out. They're big. Huge poster that you can scan, and then you have the interactive augmented part. It's really cool. If you're using Chromebooks, you can't access the apps. Chromebooks, you can use a Chromebook to build using the BlipR Builder, but you cannot use the camera on the Chromebook to activate any of the augmented apps. I would like to say that that's coming, but you never know. Okay, so, and I don't want to delete any other resources, so let me go through the questions really quick. Do you have your middle schools put the AR link together with the artifact, or you do it for them? It depends on the student. I have some really low functioning students, or some really students that won't touch technology. They panic. I help them with it. I do have one account, which is why I have, and they're called campaigns in BlipR. That's why I have multiple campaigns, and I assign a campaign to a student or to a group, and then that's theirs to play in. Sometimes they need help, sometimes they don't. Some of my kids take it and run with it. I have on my wall in my classroom a picture of every kid, and we do a project called What the Geek. It's their geek project. They hand design a poster, and they take a picture of them holding the poster, and that becomes the trigger. And so I have all these pictures of kids holding their geek poster, and when you scan it, It gets their presentation that they had to make, and then a video of them presenting their geek. So, and then it's literally gone all the way around my room, and now we're starting a second row. But that's a project I started about 4 years ago. Not all the augmented parts work anymore because of we use Layer, we use Daiquiri, we've used Blip Art, and some of the things stop working, which happens with companies. Okay, so Kathleen said this is phenomenal. Thank you for always taking the time to write everything down and share free. I can't even tell you how appreciate I am and how much time I'm going to spend on your blog. I also have a book which you can access that on the blog too. It's in, I think, all online stores. It's the keys to unlocking the universe via augmented reality, or you can Google my name, Katie Ann Wilson. You should find it. It has lessons in there, ideas as well that are not on the blog. I have to say, I don't know where to put some things because I don't want to share it all out, but I like to share, so there's a lot on the blog. Okay. Captain would like a list of all the AR sites, and I can do that. I'll write a reflection about EdCamp Global, and I'll tag it EdCamp Global, and I'll put all my resources on there for you and share it out. I could do a quick demonstration on how to build it. Give me a moment. I have to log into my account. Sorry about the Chromebooks. I'm going to get rid of that since we talked about it. Thank you, Peggy, for always being my resource person, and for your support. I can always count on seeing your bright little picture. One of these days, you have to join me in a Google Hangout. Nancy, the posters. The posters I get from Pop AR Toys. And we'll get the link out for you. And Hannah, I'm not for sure which one you want me to spell out. Okay. Bunsey, I'm one of their ambassadors, and I'm using the free part, so I'm not on the cost part. You'll have to contact them about the cost. But it is a really great program. One of the features for the pro part is that you can create assignments, and kids could turn it into you in Bunsey, which is really great. So you have one place to go. It's just very user-friendly and very creative, and their clip art that comes with it is awesome, and you can embed videos and all sorts. You can embed a 360 in there. I was blown away when they came out with that. I love it. Yes, and you can merge your Google account. You can log in with your Google account. So if you're a GAF school, kids can log in with their Google account. They don't have to remember any other password or log in, and they get access to their stuff. And I think they're working, I want to say they're putting it so that works very handy in Google Classroom. But I'm not 100% sure. I want to say that's it, but I've been very busy this summer. It's hard to keep track of everything. Okay, let's see. I think I got all the questions. Okay, so, oh, and Hannah, question. So are these web-based resources apps or computer apps? The apps to scan the triggers. There are apps that you have to get. You have to get scan Quiver stuff. You have to use the Quiver app. To get Cromville's stuff, you have to use the Cromville app. And the reason they do is they own the content. QR codes don't own anything. They're redirecting you to a source. These companies own their content, so you have to use their app to access it. So each augmented company has their own app, and you have to go to their website. So especially for the coloring pages, the coloring pages are like Quiver and Cromville. You have to go to their website, download the page, print it off, and then use the app on the device to activate the augmented part. Blipbar, you have to go to their website, to their builder, to create it. And once you create it, you have to use their app to scan it. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so demonstration on how to create a Blipbar. Give me 1 second to log in. So you guys get to see something I really don't show a lot of people, my Blipbar account, because it's really crazy. I do a lot. Okay, so we're going to present to everyone. It's going to go in a tunnel. Okay, you have to get an account. Like I said, for teachers, it is a free account. Then you have to log in to access the Blip Builder. And then they used to call them campaigns. I guess now they're calling them projects, which is great. I have a project for each topic. Like ancient history has its own folder and its own code. We did a Model T project and I augmented stuff for that. It has its own code. ELA has its own code. So all science has a code. American history. You can create some 360s using Blipbar. Art has a code. And these are the things I've made, and I made the group, the projects, the folder. So to create a new project, you have to click on the create. If you want to add, say you want to build another science and keep this same code, and that's where you see the 3 and the 7. I have 7 triggers in ELA. I have 3 triggers in science. I have 2 triggers using the same code, American history. That's what the number means. So you open up your folder. And these are the triggers that when you scan them with the code, something's going to be augmented. So I have Newton, I have Year of the Earth, which is really fun, and then an augmented volcano. Now if I want to add a blip to this so that they all have the same code, I just click Create a Blip. And then you name your blip. And then you're going to upload a picture, which is going to be your trigger, so whenever it gets scanned using this code, whatever you've augmented will be there. So say I want to do this picture. By the way, we're starting a new global cultural project. It's called a Cultural Box Exchange, and if you want more information about it, just holler and I can get you there. I say that because I'm using that picture. And you click Create a Blip. Okay, so once you have loaded your picture, it's going to ask you what do you want to do with it. What do you want the augmented parts to be? And it's the Blip Builder is what they call it. And you have to do this part on the computer. And kids can do it. If you can drag, drop, copy, and paste, you can augment something. It's really easy. Their platform, building platform, is really user-friendly. They have some stuff already there that you can use, or you can upload your own icons, your own buttons. So if you click on these 9 squares, this is their library. I'm going really slow. Come on, load. And they have like an eye to watch video. You can add text. You can tweet. So say I wanted people to follow the Twitter hashtag for this cultural box. So I drag and drop the little tweeter thing. All different sizes. You can move it around. It becomes a button. This is your panel over here. You can change the height. You can move the little birdie around. whatever you want to do, you can have fun with it. You can add text to it. So we want to say, follow us. And then you can change the text color. You can make it bigger, all sorts of things. Okay. So you are on the properties, which is the third button down here. To make it do something, you have to add an interaction, which is the box with the arrow. And you click on that, and you can say when tapped. So when you touch it, when you tap it, you need to do the following. You can add a website. You can add a video. You can add sound. You can add a poll. You can add a photo booth. So if you're doing a scavenger hunt and you want, once they find the clue, you can have the clue posted here, and next to it is a button to access the camera, and then take a picture saying, hey, you found the location for the scavenger hunt, is an idea. Image gallery, so you can have multiple pictures in like a spinning gallery, and kids can flip through it. You can upload a PDF. You can have them email. You can really call, but I don't see the point in calling. You can add to a calendar. So when people tap on it, if you have this, like if you're doing a play and you want your posters to announce the play, and you scan it, you want them to add it to their calendar so they don't forget, you can add that feature. And then you can do different sequences, and then you can do a panoramic view. That's the 360. You can create a 360 in here, or you can tell it to exit the blimp. So say I want it to follow, so I need to go get, oops, go get that hashtag there. So it's really easy. So now I want to add this link so people can follow the hashtag. When we copy it, I'm going to say I want to go to a website, put in the website, say confirm. Now it will be ready. Now when you're making augmented reality, and we're going to run out of time, and I want to make sure I get all the questions, you want to have multiple things. So do not just do one thing redirecting you to a website or adding one picture. You want to do multiple things. You want it interactive. That's the whole point of augmented reality. So I can add, I can upload another picture to this. You can upload a lot of things. So if I wanted to add, say, more information about the program and I have it as a JPEG, I can do that. I did this with Isaac Newton, so I can put him over there. I can add, and everything doesn't have to be interactive, but the parts that are interactive really captures the kids. So then I say I want them to do a poll. We can add that, and then when I do the poll, you can, so this could become a little quiz or a little exit ticket. You can put in your questions, and then you'll say confirm. Okay, so now, and I'm gonna delete this, so because this is just a test. We're gonna say test and publish. Now it's going to give you the code. This is the same code I have for all science. You want to say they're going to give you 3 versions. I would do the campaign code because if you're creating stuff for science and you're creating stuff for language arts, you want to make sure that you don't have things interfering with each other. So now when you scan this with this code right here, everything that I put in will pop up. And then you push publish and it becomes live. So, and I'm not going to do that because I really don't want the test one to come live. But that's an example of creating And you saw how quickly I did that. I did that in like a few minutes. Okay, so Google kind of worked for me. Okay, my video quit. There it goes. Flipboard does have more options than Erasmus. You do not have to follow a channel, and you don't have to make sure your channel settings are correct and open. Gosh, now I'm laggy. Open. So I like Flipboard over Erasmus if I had to choose. Okay, so are there any other questions? I am so laggy. This is funny for me. Okay, I'm going to go. I know the people that were in the room were making comments, so I'm going to switch to that screen real quick so I can see their comments and any questions. And check Twitter one more time to see. I have like 60 notifications on Twitter. So give me a moment to scan that real quick and I'll answer questions, and then I'll have to get ready for the next AR session. Okay, so Sunshine is in love with Flipboard. Let's see. Love Bunsey? I do too, Katie. It's awesome. Let's see. I'm not for sure what has happened with Erasmus. I wasn't liking Erasmus from the get-go, so I didn't really use it. I tried it, and I got frustrated. And if I get frustrated and I'm really tech-savvy, then I tend not to use the tool. And if I can figure it out that it's just frustrating for me, I don't have my kids use it. Because then I know they're going to be twice as frustrated than I was. And I don't need that frustration in my classroom. Let's see, what else? Jacy, I'm glad you love my blog. Okay. Thank you all for joining us. I am going to check one more time for questions in Twitter. And then I'm going to sign off so that I can get the next session started. The next session is going to be using pre-made augmented triggers. And when I say pre-made, that's things that you're not making, so it won't include Flipboard. Unless you have a friend making them for you and they're using it, then it's pre-made for them. So we can get around that just a little bit. I'm not seeing questions there. Let me double check the Q&A. May have to restart my computer. I'm going really slow, or Google's really just not liking me. It shows me no Q&A. And I know there's stuff there. Okay. Technology, right? It's great. Thank you all for joining me, and if you have any questions, need any help, like I said, please contact me. I am there for you. Contact me on Twitter. I'm KatieAnn_76. Contact me via my blog, Diary of Techie Chick, and then you can email me, katieann@katieannwilson.com. Or you can go to my website, katieannwilson.com. Feel free to contact me. Like I said, I carry my phone with me almost all the time. I'd be lost if I didn't have my phone. And I will try and get back to you as quickly as I can. Now I'm going to sign off and hopefully see several of you back for using the pre-made triggers. And I am tweeting out some examples, so make sure that you're following the hashtag EdCampGlobal 2016 for those resources. And I will make a blog post today, and I will share out some of the companies and some other resources. Okay, see you guys on the flip side.